From the Ticats Audio Network, this is Ticats Today with Brayden Neville.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Ticats Today for this Tuesday, July the 18th, 2023, right here on the Ticats Audio Network. On today's episode, Coach O spoke to me about preparing for the Argos. Tim White talked to me about his game against the Elks and playing with the new QB, Taylor Powell. And Javien Elliott celebrated his 30th birthday. And of course, at the end, we will have offensive coordinator Tommy Condell. We'll talk about that Ticats offense that's been heating up and what he likes to do other than football. But first, as always, we will get to some news around the team. The Ticats have announced they signed QB Antonio Pipkin. We knew a QB signing was coming when we heard the news about Matthew Schultz yesterday, so Antonio Pipkin will fit in as that third or second string guy here on the depth chart. Pipkin spent 5 seasons in the CFL with the Alouettes, Argos, and BC Lions, so a bit of a journeyman, but a guy who's been in the league, been around the league, and a veteran, knows the CFL game. He's gone 141 for 260 on passes over 27 games in the league for 1,846 yards and 6 touchdowns. He's a dual threat QB. He's also ran for 21 touchdowns over the course of his CFL career and had 7 just last year alone. So a guy who can get it done in the air and can run the ball as well. An interesting pickup by the Cats as they get a little help at that QB position. Also announced today that Ticats O-line was the number 1 ranked O-line in last week's games according to the PFF ranking system. Honestly, not a surprise here. They were excellent in the Edmonton game, and I asked Coach O for his thoughts on the rankings and more. All right, Coach, the team announced the signing of Antonio Pipkin. Just what you can give me on bringing him here to Hamilton, a veteran QB in the CFL.
Well, I think you just touched on it. Yeah, he's a veteran. He's seen a lot. He's been in some big games. He's done a decent job of short yardage, and we had an option to go with an unknown there, or a little bit of experience. So we opted to go with the experience, and just happy it worked out.
And according to the PFF ratings that just came out, the O-line was the most sufficient, or whatever word you're looking for, the best O-line last week. Just what you can give me on their performance in that game.
I don't know about the PFF, none of that. I know that they're working hard, they're having fun, they're a committed group, they're working to get better, they know they haven't arrived, they're a humble group. And, they're spending extra time. They're doing all those little things. I think Mike Gibson's doing a great job with them. And it really starts from within. We always want self-starters, and I think it's a close group, and I think we're just scratching the surface.
And then going up against Chad Kelly in this game here, a dual-threat quarterback, what does the defense need to do to try and contain him?
Well, I think their offense is going to go as they run the ball. And, they're doing not a good job, but a great job of that. I think they've controlled the majority of ball games. They got a great belief system down there right now, and regardless of when they've fallen behind in games, you can tell that they believe, and that's why they're the undefeated team in the league. So we'll definitely have our hands full. But Chad's I didn't seem too big for him as not just the Grey Cup game, but even spot play throughout the year. You could see it last year, and right now they're rolling.
That was Coach O following today's sunny practice at Tim Hortons Field. It was a spicy one out there. Tim White was getting in his reps at practice, coming off a game where he had 71 yards on just 2 receptions, and who can forget the big touchdown he had in the third quarter to give TP his first career touchdown. He spoke about that touchdown, playing with Powell, and more. All right, Tim, a solid game for you against Edmonton. You scored that touchdown that ends up ultimately being the game winner with Taylor Powell. Just talk me through that touchdown play and coming from him on his first career CFL pass.
Yeah, it was cool. It was definitely a great moment, I'm sure, a great moment for him. And, we just called the play. The call came in, and I think Taylor just seen it the perfect way that you could, and he put the ball up there, and I just had to make the play, and it went great.
Did you say anything to him after the touchdown? Was there any words after that?
Yeah, I was like, man, did you keep the ball?
What's it been like practicing with him this week now that he's practicing on that starting team and just being around him as a guy and as a quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Taylor, he's a great guy no matter what. And I think the energy is great. I think we know as receivers that, we have to show up for him. And, the energy's been great these last 2 days. So, we're just looking to continue it. We have another day of practice and just want to get back out there on the field, really.
Do you feel the team's got a little bit of momentum here now that you've won 2 straight coming into this rivalry game with the Argos?
Yeah, you could say so. I think right now we're just, in the process of, day by day, and we're just looking to get out there and play.
And you've been around this rivalry long enough now that is this another game, just another game, or is there something special with these Toronto Hamilton games?
Yeah, I think right now we're just focused on us, trying to just put the best team that we can out there, making sure that we're preparing correctly, and just, I'm sure guys are extremely excited to get out there and play.
And finally, what do you need to do in this one against this Argos defense to punch it in the end zone?
We just got to play hard. At the end of the day, that's what it's going to take, us playing hard all 4 quarters.
That was Tim White following today's practice. Now, Javien Elliott spoke to me today, and he's celebrating his 30th birthday. That's a big one. It's his 30th birthday. He's coming off a great game where he had that big pick in Edmonton. The birthday boy is looking to improve on that performance this week and spoke about turning the big 3-0. All right, Javien, first of all, happy 30th birthday. Just wondering if you have any birthday plans for tonight.
Tonight, nah. Just work week, man. Just chill. If I do anything, probably after the game, hang out with the guys, but nothing too crazy, even over the weekend.
And now, talking about last game, you had that big interception. Could you talk me through that play and just what went on there?
Yeah, really, man, it was just a factor of, the rush getting there and me just doing what I'm supposed to do. I was just playing ball. I had a guy man coverage, and it was just really a reaction play. It happened so fast. I just reacted. I didn't really have time to think or anything like that. So that's really what it was.
It seems like that secondary's been able to break up a lot of passes, get some interceptions over these last 2 games. What has been done differently? What has been, you think, been the reason for all these great interceptions and just break up on plays?
Just really how we attack in practice, working on the details. Like I said before, we're a new group, so we just been trying to get the same type of communication, be on one page, and really just coming to work every day, working on our technique, and that's really it.
Now, heading into this game against Toronto, one of the top offenses in the league, just what do you guys have to do to maintain them and maintain Chad Kelly?
Yeah, we just got to take everything we've done in the past and exceed it, go to a higher level. We got to take the communication to a higher level. We got to take the execution. That's the main thing. We got to execute. Like you said, they're a good team. But at the end of the day, as long as we do what we're supposed to do, then I know we'll be good. Yeah.
In the locker room with these rivalry games, is there maybe a little more to it, or is it just another game for you and the rest of the guys?
I guess for the locker room, people understand that it is a rivalry, but for us, we're so focused on getting this win, really it is a rivalry, but at the end of the day, we're just focused on winning,
That was Javien Elliott. A big happy birthday to him. The final person I spoke to was offensive coordinator Tommy Condell. He sat down with me to discuss the season so far and how to build off last week's performance against the Argos. And I also wanted to know what coach is getting up to off the field when we sat down today. Offensive coordinator Tommy Condell. Coach, thanks for joining me today. First things first, today with the PFF rankings, they announced that the O-line was number 1 in the league last week. And just maybe a little bit you can give me on how they've been playing lately and their performance in that Edmonton game.
I don't know about any of the grades, but I enjoy watching their physicality and they're coming off the football. Obviously, in order to be a physical football team, we have to be also a running football team. And they were able to do that last week with 150 yards rushing. But it doesn't go with them. It's a whole thing with the team because we have to be able to block some edges with the receivers. The receivers are heavy in the run game. Everyone's in there, not only with the quarterback and the running back, obviously with Mr. Butler and stuff like that, but I think they're all part of it, right? And they all should take pride in what they do. But, consistency is a value that we really want. So can we do it and continue to do it?
And now, unfortunately, Matt Schultz goes down last week. Taylor Powell steps in. Just what have you seen from this young quarterback so far? It seems like he's a confident guy. He's been able to, learn the offense. He's been here long enough. Just what have you been able to see from him in his time now on the first team?
Yeah, Taylor is, when he came in here late for camp, and no situation was really too big for him. He studies. He works real hard. He absorbs any information that he can get, and that's from a great quarterback room that we have. Yeah, I know that we lost Matt and obviously a few early in the season, Bo as well, but it's not being lost with information. We're all in there in that think tank and being able to share information and be able to help each other along to get better. Iron sharpens iron, and we're able to do that there. And most importantly, Taylor's able to absorb it and wants to learn from everyone and make sure of it. So that's what I see in him.
Now, with this receiving corps, it seems like there's a lot of guys who are able to get stuff done up the field and in short yardage. It seems like the ball's been able to be spread out a lot amongst those receivers. Is that something you consider a strength?
Well, I think, with any type of, when you go into a game plan and stuff, it's all dictated by, hey, how are they going to play you, right? And some guys get, more shots than the others, but it all evens out in the long run. And to be able to be a viable threat, all across the field, not just one side, it's going to be important for any offense. I think the other thing that's really important for a receiver is what they do without the ball. There's only one ball out there, and there's 6 skill guys, and specifically a lot of times only 5 receivers out there. And so one's usually only getting it. So it's very important for everyone to be honed in on the intent of the play, but not just that, but why we're doing it and understand where you come in the progression. And we try to give that information, the why, the intent, everything else, and to let them be able to use their God-given abilities out there after the fact. But they have to be a great teammate, and being a great teammate is part of doing without the football.
Now, one guy who's made a huge impact, it seems like every single game, is James Butler. What has he been able to bring to the offense in his time here since joining the team?
James has not only been able to, obviously his rushing yards and what he did there, and be able to, he has great contact balance, but the thing that he's able to do is he's able to do multiple things, not just run the football. He's able to pass protect, which is important, get the calls that we do a great job of up front from an offensive line standpoint, and then also be a threat coming out of the backfield. So, he's able to do that, and it's all wrapped up in one package. But he comes to work every day. He wants to get better. So that, in turn, he just naturally, it's organically, it goes to throughout the team, understanding that he's not just doing it on the field, but he's doing it off the field by being able to prepare himself.
Now, this is my last football question. We have the game coming up here against the Argonauts. Just what does this offense need to do to penetrate that defense?
Well, number one, we got to be able to protect the football. They're obviously they're Grey Cup champions of last year, and we certainly respect what they do, how they do it. The coaches, all their players, they have great players, and we're going to go out there and make sure we're prepared, and we got to be able to protect the football.
Now, I've been talking to a lot of the guys around the room just about what they like to do outside of football. So, Coach, what are you doing for fun outside of the game when you have some downtime?
Well, there's not that there's not much downtime during the season, right? So, but like most people know, I have a large family, so it's we get on in there and we have 4 boys and 2 dogs, so it's a chaos. It's basically a frat house, I guess you'd say. So once we get out there, we're doing something. Let it be, I guess some crazy basketball. And there's no fouls, obviously, because
junkyard.
Yeah. Well, however you want to call it. And then once in a while we got this Wii there, and so we run a tournament down there, and it's kind of crazy. And we get the wife Mandy in there, and she gets upset because she really can't figure it out. So I hope you don't show a play. But she's not going to listen to this, hopefully. So, but we do that. We're a tight knit group, and it's what I do. Coaching is what I do, but who I am is definitely a husband and a father.
Now, are any of the kids into football? Are you trying to start them young here?
No. I let them. I've realized a long time ago. That they're going to do what they. So they're all very, very different. Luke is the one that's really involved in football. He gets a chance to, he in high school and at PT and then at Burlington with the Stamps there. So he's doing that, and he comes here. So he's been around it all the time. He's got the sickness, like I do, and maybe the little one. Wyatt might have there. Caleb is loves the soccer and loves all things to do with any computer and that. And then my James Thomas. James Thomas is the guy that I hang out with when I want to talk about strategy.
Yeah. Okay.
So he's the guy that keeps me sane on that. So he's a thinker like myself. So we get a chance to sit down. I smoke a cigar. He grabs a Coke, and we have some fun.
Well, it's great that you have that family connection, especially having them here, and I'm sure they enjoy going to games. Coach, it was great to chat with you, and we'll talk to you again soon, hopefully. Big thanks to Coach Tommy Condell, Coach O, Javien Elliott, and Tim White for being on the show today. Ticats fans, make sure to get those tickets for the big game on Friday when the Ticats welcome the rival Toronto Argonauts to Tim Hortons Field. And also, remember Tim Hortons Camp Day. It's tomorrow, Wednesday, July 19th, across Canada. Every camp day, 100% of proceeds from all hot and iced coffee sales at Tim Hortons are donated to Tim Hortons Foundation camps to help undeserved youth reach their full potential. If you'd like to support Tim Hortons Camp Day, stop by at Tim Hortons tomorrow. I know I'll be stopping by for my morning coffee. That's all the time from me today. I want to once again thank you for listening to Ticats Today.